So welcome to our second session. As you know, we go live every day at 6:30 with our daily Buddha Puja and chanting. And secondly, with a short break, we engage in Dhamma reflection and meditation on loving kindness. So this series is going until 24th of October. Especially during this rains retreat, it is important to stay in touch with the Dhamma, and we see this as a very skillful act enabling you to participate and engage in not just enhancing your Dhamma knowledge but deepening your spiritual practice as well. So one of the key methods of developing and enhancing spiritual practice is to meditate on loving kindness. Hence, we do that every day. So today I'd like to reflect on another stanza from the Dhammapada. We have reached the chapter on flowers, and this is the stanza, 50th stanza in the Dhammapada, and this is quite a common stanza which most of you may have heard. Naparesang vilomani naparesang kata katang attanova avekheya katani akatani cha. Okay. So one should not pry or worry or even stress into the faults of others, into the things they have done or left undone. One should rather consider what by oneself one has done and one has left undone. So essentially to look into your personal performance and reflection rather than worry about someone else's actions. So to quickly refer to the story behind this, which I will read, which is quite interesting, and I think we can relate to this in many ways, and I will leave that for your personal reflection. So I'll read the story quickly. A rich lady from Savatthi was a supporter and disciple of an ascetic by the name of Pathika. And because of her strong devotion to the naked ascetic, she treated Pathika as she would to her own son. She had many friends and neighbors, and all her neighbors were lay disciples of the Buddha. They frequently visited the monastery, Jetona monastery, to pay their respects and to listen to the religious discourses given by the Enlightened One. When she heard her neighbors praising the virtues of the Buddha, she wanted to go to the monastery to pay her homage and also to listen to his religious discourses. However, Pathika prevented her from going to the monastery on several occasions. So the ascetic would prevent her. I'm sure she must have asked or maybe get permission, can I go to the Buddha's monastery? So Pathika would prevent her from doing so. So instead of going to the monastery, she invited the Buddha through her own son to her house for almsgiving. Choice food was prepared for the alms giving. After the meal, the Buddha expressed his appreciation, we call Anumodana in Pali, and hearing the golden voice of the Buddha delivering the wonderful and glorious Dhamma for the first time in her life, her whole body was suffused with joy and happiness, and she exclaimed spontaneously, Sadhu, 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 which means well said. Pathika, the ascetic who was in the next room, heard the applause and uttered to the rich lady, She is no longer my disciple. Fuming with rage, he came out into the room and cursed both the lady and the Buddha, and left the house angrily, still shouting his abuses. So the lady was embarrassed and so ashamed that she could not concentrate on what the Buddha was saying. The Enlightened One advised her not to be concerned about those curses and threats, but to be mindful of her own good and bad deeds. So at the end of the discourse, she attained Sotapanna, or the first stage of sainthood. So it is quite an interesting one, because I think we can relate to this. Most of the time when we are being told something, or when certain things are done against us, we really spend a lot of time dwelling and delving into those, and obviously commenting and criticizing, and most of the times taking it personally and feeling offended. So the Buddha is saying not to actually waste time on those offenses, not to waste time on other people's actions and words, but simply reflect on your personal development, personal spiritual growth, personal actions, and so on, and words and stuff. So we can see focusing on your personal performance is better, so that you can enhance your spiritual journey, spiritual practice. And I want to refer to some of the things that we might obviously spend time talking about. And we have a reference of what we call 32 types of unskillful talks that people might engage in. And some of them are about, which I will quickly refer to, is about talking about politics, talking about robberies, about ministers, armies, fears, wars, and again, all the entertainment that you could perhaps have, and especially talking about relationships and all the vehicles and so, talking about intoxicants, talking about... Now these would be categorized as gossip. Because the more time we spend on someone else's actions and words, it is a waste of time. The reflection the Buddha wanted here for us to have is that personal reflection that I one time referred to as the type of people that you could be. If you reflect properly, then only you can make a move from a red zone to being in a green zone, which means moving on from darker performance to a brighter performance. And when you make this reference from that analogy, you can see that you personally sometimes have to sit down and think on your own actions and deeds, rather than spending time, because when you spend time on other people's accusations or other people's gossip, other people's actions and words, the first thing is it doesn't make any sense to you as well in the first place. It is just a waste of time. And secondly, it will always be nurturing your fault-finding thinking. It will always be nurturing what we call patigha sanya. So the tendency that we develop in this reaction perception is quite important. We should never ever think or talk about other people's mistakes, other people's wrongdoings. The more we engage in that, the more we nurture our own personal clinging that we could have in a particular format. So this morning, if you were listening to us, we referred to in one of the discourses, discussion that my teacher led from Sri Lanka. We're talking about how it is important to reflect, so that you have to first identify that there is this such nature within oneself. There is this nature within oneself. Identifying that bit of impurity or that bit of fault that you could perhaps engage in. When it is happening, at least, so if you can't see the arise, at least when it is happening, you can stop talking about it. As soon as you're mindful that your thought has been trying to criticize someone else's actions and someone else's words, then you can stay away from it. But if you do perhaps in terms of a skillful advice, then that is fine. If you want advice to a person, approach to the person and explain and work. However, talking about it in their absence or even you yourself thinking about it and losing your sleep over it is not the right thing. If you lose your sleep over someone else's actions, someone else's speech, then we are wasting a lot of time, because at that moment we are, perhaps, if I want to refer to the Aditya Sutta, we are on fire. We are burning inside, because that will start being fueled by hate, being fueled by ignorance, perhaps being fueled by lots of personality issues. And again, referring to the impurities we discussed last few days, it will fuel anger and revenge. It will start fueling and developing lots of ill-wishing thoughts. And this is quite wrong. So rather than losing sleep and thinking of other people's things, what they have done or not done, the Buddha then says, actually, if you spend that much of time onto your personal own spiritual growth, look at what you have done and what you have not done. And that is where the reflection that we always refer to in the Rahulovada Sutta, take the mirror as a reflective point. What do you see in your thinking process? Do you see the way you think is good? Do you see the way you act is good? Do you see the way you speak is good? So these three, speech, thinking, even your words, how do you present yourself to others? Let alone forget about others. Even how do you perform and function yourself? So every moment, every mindfulness can be a mirror, a reflection point for your personal spiritual growth. So rather than losing sleep on other people's stuff, rather than spending time, perhaps even more than 80% of our time, if it is to do with something else, we entertain ourselves talking about other people and forget that we are actually nurturing our own tendency with greed and hate. So the personal performance in terms of reflection on the mindfulness approach, where what have you not done and what have you done, and what that will allow us is, and if you can come and identify at least 50% of good things that you have done, reward yourself, praise yourself. That is not for ego nurturing, but it is to actually feel contented that your spiritual growth is in progress. And then think about a couple of things that maybe you need to progress in. Few things. There's this widely accepted 80-20 ratio. Spend 80 time on the good things that you have done and rejoice in that, and then continue to do those things. Lots of people, when they don't see an immediate quick fix into or benefits from certain good things, they have this tendency to let it go and try other avenues. But if you're confident in what you're doing is really good, and you know wisely that it is good, not because someone tells it is good, or not because you think it is good, because you know it is good and you continue to do it. Such as what is taught in the Buddha's Eightfold Path. There are good things added as taught by the Buddha, and continue to do those good things, even if it is dana, sila, bhavana, and all the other reflections, or the 10 perfections as dana, as dasaparamita. If you know they are good things, and you know they are skillful actions, spend about 80% of your time thinking about how to actually make progress on those. And when you nurture those more, you will not have time for the other unskillful thoughts, actions, and words to arise in your system. I'm not saying we are perfect humans, but we can then spend on improving the imperfection gradually as well. And for that as well, you also need to reflect. Think about any action that you have done today that was a bit unskillful. Any word that you said is a bit unskillful. Any thinking that was a bit unskillful. And choose 1 or 2 or 3 to then avoid for next time. You can start off with a couple. If you're able to. You can be skillful in trying to unpack those unskillfuls and then slowly let it go. So that is also a great skill. So if you look into the right effort in the Eightfold Path, you see that is that is what we do. Identify the unskillful actions and not do it at all if you have been doing them. Identify unskillful actions if you have not done at all. Never do it because you know it is unskillful. Identify the skillful things you have been doing and continue to do them, and identify the skillful actions that you have not done. Make an effort, great effort, to begin those things. So this is well taught in the Eightfold Path, and especially in the right effort section. So your every moment, as I said, should be a reflection in the mirror. How are your actions? How are your thoughts? How are your words? Are they skillful? Are they good? Not good in your understanding. Are they good universally? Are they good, skillful universally? Are they skillful according to the Dhamma? Are they good according to the Dhamma? Because this is where that reflection should take place. So the Buddha says to that lady, you should rather consider what you have done and what you have not done. And that is the best way to improve in your spiritual practice. Don't spend time, don't lose your sleep into other things that waste your time and energy, or that nurtures your unskillful thinking, that nurtures your anger, that nurtures your ignorance, that nurtures your greed. Don't spend time on those. It's a waste of time because you are stirring up your peace of mind, you are stirring up your calmness, and you are stirring up your ego that is also then nurtured by anger and delusion and greed. So freeing yourself is only possible when you reflect. So when you reflect, you might have some grudges, you may have some regrets on certain incidents that you may have done today. You free yourself from that and just make a determination you will not do it again. And if you had an opportunity that was missed to do a good thing, an opportunity when you could have done something good, next time be mindful so you don't lose the opportunity. Be mindful to say something at the right time, at the correct time. Be mindful to do the right thing at the right time. That is progress. That is the progress that we are talking about in spiritual growth. Jyoti Jyoti Parayana, go from light to light. Go from the green zone to a greener zone, not to red. Always identify what the red zone is and move away from them. And try to be in the green zone with happiness and with peace of mind. So with that short reflection on today's Dhammapada Gatha number 50, verse 50, we come to close of reflection. So as you know, we complete this session with meditation. So I make 3 requests. Excuse me. Sit straight with a balanced body. Avoid resting your arms and your back. So unless you have a physical difficulty, have a balanced sitting. And your right hand on your left palm to avoid fidgeting with things. Third request is to close your eyes. And simply think of the word mindfulness. It is about being aware of the present moment. Wherever your mind is, we should be there. And if we are there, that is mindfulness. So you are sitting down now. Be mindful of that. See yourself in the sitting. See yourself peacefully sitting. Notice the calmness in yourself. Notice the stillness. Notice that peace. If you compare it to your actions in the day, now it is motionless. And most importantly, it's not restless, it's peaceful. Be mindful of that. Be aware of that peace within your body. Even your hand at other time is fidgety. Now it's peaceful. And look at that peaceful body without getting distracted to anything. Just coming out of your body, look at your posture. Isn't that great? Such a peaceful, calm presentation that you have. And when you are still, you can feel the stillness around, because that stillness is coming from that focused mind. Notice the presence of others around you. And if they are there, appreciate their support and be thankful for their presence. They are also still, no movement, but stillness. And also be mindful of the environment around you, your infrastructure. They also present stillness. So there is peace everywhere around you. Isn't that wonderful? Even if those who are not participating come to your mind, we forgive them, we let it go, we don't criticize, no grudges and arguments. Be happy for what they are doing. Even if they are disturbing you, it's okay. Don't let that peace get ruined. Remember, it is your actions, your thoughts, your words we are working on. And that peace of mind is happiness, completely free from expectations and conditions, free from likes, free from attachments, free from views, even free from conditions that we may have through personal ego or personal attachment. That peace of mind should always stay like that. Free oneself from everything. As you always know, and I say this always, the more expectations, the more dissatisfied you become. The more free you are, the more happiness there is, contentment there is. Expectations always bring conditions and your viewpoints. Freeing yourself brings happiness. There is patience, there is well-wishing thought. That simple thinking is loving kindness. That well-wishing thought is what we call loving kindness. Because an expecting mind or mind full of expectations and clingings, it will be very hard for someone to develop loving kindness. So even if it is momentarily, free yourself from everything. Free yourself from the ego. Free yourself from anger. Free yourself from jealousy. Free yourself from anxiety. Free yourself from everything. And just observe that peace within yourself, in the body and in the mind. That is peace in body and mind. And notice that. See that peace that has no expectations. Only you can express that happiness, that mind that does not wander, because wandering is expectations or expecting something or looking for something. When there is no wandering, there is stillness, there is complete happiness. And wish yourself for that continuity in these lines. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have the patience, courage and determination to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May I be free from anger and jealousy. May I be free from frustration, anxiety and worries. May I be free from pain and suffering. The peace of mind can be shared with everyone, not just yourself. So what we do is think about the people that you're associated with. And when we call out those stations, bring to your mind their happy faces or moments. If they have passed away, don't recall them. As well as, if it doesn't relate to you, simply skip the stations. May my parents, grandparents, teachers, uncles and aunts, in-laws, husband, wife or partner, children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews and nieces, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and neutral people you meet daily. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from anger and jealousy. May they be free from frustration, anxiety and worries. May they be free from pain and suffering. May all living beings, including your pets, birds, animals and insects that come to your garden, seen and unseen beings, including all sentient beings, be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from pain and suffering. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from pain and suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we come to a close of today's online broadcast. Every day we go live at 6:30, enabling you to participate into religious observances from home wherever you are during these lockdown times. and especially during this rains retreat to support you and help you to participate in the observances and accumulate merit. So as we said before, the devotees today, Mr. Who sponsored the event today, Mr. Anura and Mrs. Subhashini Dayaratna, and their daughter Shenali would like to bless their parents, Mr. Mohandiram Dayaratna and Mrs. Anula Dayaratna, and also Jinadasa Himbutukoto and Shanti Himbutukoto, and their brothers and sisters and their children. So bless the whole entire families and extended families with the blessings of the Triple Gem for their well-being and happiness and success. Especially would also like to share merit with one of the departed cousins, daughters, Miss Akenya, who passed away untimely, and may she and other relatives who have passed away, may they all rejoice in this punya karma and make their lives happy and peaceful wherever they are. So with those kind intentions, we say sadhu again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So do join us again at 6:30 tomorrow. Take care and have a very nice evening. Thank you for participating.